you.
Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Ottawa. And Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Brian David Marshall. And
Hello.
We've got a nice little battle here. We've got Captain Canada, Car Young Tom. Some people call him that. There's probably more than one Captain Canada. KYT, though, is his actual nickname. It looks like the names might be switched, but we're getting it fixed. And he's playing against none other than the Hall of Famer, William Huey Jensen.
Yeah, he's going into his second season since being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
And he, you know, we'll see it sometimes that after a player gets in the Hall of Fame, they'll kind of sit back a little bit and, you know, kind of show up to the PTs. Yeah. And Huey has not taken that tack at all. He has just become a complete wrecking ball.
Yeah, he's just gotten stronger.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like he's already qualified for all the Pro Tours, but irrelevant to him. He is ready to do battle no matter what. And here he is in the feature match area with just a couple of rounds to go in this Grand Prix. And both players sitting at 11 and 2, so live for the top 8. They do need to win out, though, presumably.
No turn 3 play from KYT.
Just nothing from KYT? That can't. Oh, geez, this is not a great start for Car Young Tom. He's got a Scaldkin on turn 4. Not even a great card. You know, and certainly not your first play of the game is not where you want to be. He's going to trade it off for the Morph, and Huey says, yeah, sure, no problem.
Only 3 lands showing. Nothing bad can happen.
Right, and there's 4, and yeah, even with 4, nothing bad could happen. But
right.
And it's a Sultai Flare to follow up, so a solid follow-up here. So the old 2-3-4 for Huey Jensen into nothing 4 for KYT, but he does get a little value out of it. Does he have another 4-drop that he can play here, though, after the Thornwood falls? That's the question. No, he does not.
So he's a 4-color deck, KYT. It looks like he's Forest, Island, Mountain, Plains.
Okay.
So
often not a great place to be. Usually,
Jeskai and Temur sort of straddle.
Yeah, it can be fine. Like, it depends on your mana base. You can make that work for sure, though.
The best straddle to me is always Sultai and Abzan.
Me too, man. High five. Yeah, I'm all about it.
You know, they seem to lend themselves to it
red,
just naturally. Yeah.
I'm on no red a lot, and I like red too. I don't have any problem with it or anything. It's just those seem to just really work well together. You have all the tools you need to win the game. And there's a lot of value in those colors too. All right, so crunch for 5, nothing happens. Is this at least get countered? All right, disdainful stroke from KYT. It had to be something, right? Like, you couldn't just do nothing that turn. So Mandrills hits the bin, and here's a good follow-up now from KYT. It's a Sage of the Inward Eye, and that actually holds off Jensen's board currently, though wouldn't be shocked to see Huey have something. Savage Punch really wouldn't get it done.
No,
here.
he needed that Hooting Mandrill. He is holding a Savage Punch. He needed that Hooting Mandrill.
Oh, he is holding? Oh, yeah. Wow. So has KYT successfully halted the onslaught here from Huey?
I don't think so.
Nope.
All right, attack.
He sure hasn't. Maybe an Awaken the Bear, something along those lines from Huey would be pretty good.
Okay. KYT does not flinch. He puts the Sage of the Inward Eye in front of the Highland game.
Yep.
Says, what do you have?
And it turns out it was nothing there, but there could be a follow-up play here, and there is. It's the Savage Punch that you talked about a minute ago, BDM. So down goes Sage of the Inward Eye, but is there a follow-up?
It deals 3 damage back to the Flayer, but the Flayer is a 3/4.
Is a 3/4, and that was a Planewalker for Huey.
Yeah.
So what a great sequence here for Huey Jensen. I mean, he had a key spell countered, but he's made it really not matter that much, and he's really capitalized on the slow start by KYT. Now the question here is...
Sometimes it's correct to 2 for 1 yourself.
Sometimes. So the interesting thing here, though, is that now KYT has got, what, 4 or 5 cards in hand, I'm assuming? At least 2 or 3, unless he mulligans. And God, that's all he can come up with? A Sage Eye Harrier? That's not going to be a happy time.
So he's got a Sage theme deck.
He does. Hope don't block that Morph. All right, well, I think he's just going to end up taking 5 here unless Huey has a really nice follow-up play. But taking 5 here is a pretty big game. Huey's thinking, and he says, okay, sure. So he does have a follow-up play. Let's see
he's going to play a Mystic of the Hidden Way, I think.
Just face up that guy?
No, it looks like...
Going to morph it?
Looks like
he has enough mana to morph it and turn it up. So this turn is he's going to flip it up on end step, and then he can flip up the Planewalker and really crunch in there for a big hit and put a lot of pressure on KYT. Yeah, KYT needs something huge here.
know that he has something huge.
He is going to need something pretty special. You know, like a Sage of the Inward Eye style card is the kind of thing that he's going to need at least.
Yeah, I don't know that I love KYT's deck very much. Oh.
All right, he's got Narset, but I'm going to say that Narset's not going to get it done. I don't think he's going to have a chance to attack with Narset at any point here.
Wow.
And he's going to put himself on a one-turn clock with that Mystic of the Hidden Way. Because everybody's hitting here, right? Like, I don't think there's any deterrent to just jamming with the team. He's going to do that. And KYT is going to have to decide if he wants to double block or if he wants to put Narset in front of the Morph and the Sage Eye Harrier in front of the Sultai Flare. Otherwise, he's going to double block. And he's going for the double block. This has him taking 8 and falling to 1.
Assuming Jensen
if Huey flips
Morphs,
it up, yep. And even as it sits, Narset dies here because she has first strike, but the Harrier doesn't.
Right.
And there we go. Untap the Pinewalker, take 8, go to 1, and lose Narset as well. So now every threat that Huey has is lethal, including an unblockable threat.
Assuming you have a reason to put Narset in your deck, I feel like maybe you
I
just
can't think of one offhand.
I feel like maybe you just need to keep it alive and then go to one, keep it alive and get in.
Try to hit 2 or 3 removal spells or something. Yeah, I mean, the problem with that Pinewalker was really...
You can't imagine a hand of 4 cards that you'd draw for free with Narset that would make you justify playing Narset.
4 Master of the Ways would be reasonable.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, all right, well, here's a dig through time, but is it too little too late? He's got to use 4 of his mana to dig, leaving him with only 2. Maybe he can play a land and have a third.
Land, Crippling Chill, Chump Block, the Pinewalker.
I mean, we could come up with a few scenarios that would keep him alive for 1 turn, but he's still just chumping at that point. So on we go to game 2. Huey Jensen, just with a solid performance there. Like, he didn't do anything super flashy, but he curved out, he used up his mana efficiently, and KYT stumbled a bit in the early stages, and he kind of played some mediocre stuff when he finally got his feet under him. It wasn't good enough.
I would love to see the correlation between playing 3 lands and not making a play. Going right to 3 mana and not using it.
And losing.
And it's got to be very high.
It's high, in this format for sure. Now here's a really interesting match. Neil Oliver versus Robert Anderson. So Neil, a couple of cool things about Neil right now. He's playing to get on the Pro Tour again.
Right.
So if he can win out, he's at X2 right now. I bumped into him in the hallway and I said, so what's your scenario? He's like, I'm X2. I'm like, so if you win out, you can make the top 8. He's like, well, yeah, but I can get back on the Pro Tour. Like, he kind of top 8 was an afterthought for him. He wants back on the PT. He is playing an 18 land 2 banner deck. He went 3-0 in the last draft with an 18 land 3 banner deck. He is on these decks, and he told me a little secret.
What's that?
He's got a card that I particularly like in this format. He's got Villainous Wealth in this deck.
Oh yeah. That's a reason to play a banner, sort of.
Or 2.
Yeah.
It really is.
Interestingly, he did an interview piece with Jake Van Lunen on the text coverage where he said, I'll play the banners, but I don't really like them very much.
Well, he was lying.
Yet 4 banners later,
he was keeping the tech to himself, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't want anyone drafting those banners away from him.
One thing he could have been doing is saying, look, I don't want to put it out to the world that you should draft banners, but he knows how to do it, right? Like, the company line is don't play banners. But maybe he's found a little niche for himself, and he's kind of pulling the don't do as I do, All right, looks like he's going off here pretty nicely with Armament Core and a Snowhorn Rider. He's put a counter on the core and on a morph, and he's contemplating an attack here. Neil has the distinction of having won the biggest Magic tournament ever. Wow, he's at 1 life.
And Robert's at 20.
And Robert's at 20. So this
21.
is 21. Make it 21.
Well, Robert may have taken a hit there from the Snowhorn Rider.
Wow. All right, so it looks like Neil is way up against it. cards could kill him off the top. Bitter Revelation, not a sweet draw.
Double Bitter Revelation.
Oh, no. Look at him put his hands in his hair like, what happened here?
Oh. What life decisions have I made that brought me to this place?
No kidding. He needs an exalted angel face down.
Yeah. You know, if that morph turns out to be, you know, an Abzan guide.
That would be perfect. It does feel unlikely. All right, and what you're seeing here, you know, that actually might be an Abzan guide BDM. Look at this attack. Oh, this is sketchy. Okay, it's a Woolly Loxodon, but he didn't actually have to flip it up, right?
No.
Is there any reason to there? Like, don't you just open yourself up to Smite the Monstrous or something like that? All right, why don't we head back over to our match? We will keep an eye on this one, though, and let you guys know how it goes. So
William Jensen has a 2-drop again.
All right, now
and we have a 3-drop this
3-drop from KYT, and it's a pretty nice one, too.
Alpine Grizzly, the
Grizz,
the official mascot of Team Teamer.
Yes, absolutely. Even though he is betrayed a little bit by his own team.
That's the cosplay I would do. I would come as an Alpine Grizzly. I'd just get a bear suit.
Well, you should be Surok then. He's wearing a bear that he cut in half with his own hands.
No, I just want the full bear
theory,
suit.
But yeah, okay. He's going to be well, I'll be Surok and cut you in half.
No. No, I don't like this
don't like
anymore.
This got
I don't
lame.
want to talk about this
this
anymore.
Got lame? Okay. I like this idea.
In comes Alpine Grizzly.
It gets snap blocked,
yep.
And these poor glacial stalkers never seem to get flipped up for you.
Like, you know, I can do more for you than just eat a 3-drop.
Right. But he couldn't block fast enough. He's quite happy to get that Alpine Grizzly off the table. Not only does it represent big chunks of life total, it also enables Ferocious, and that can matter in a big way. All right, so back on KYT's perspective, he plays a morph and just ships a turn back here. KYT finding himself at 11-2 here. He did win a PTQ though, so he's qualified for DC.
Nice.
Yeah. And so, you know, this is the type of thing that can jumpstart a career, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, if he manages to top 8 here, all right, what was the morph?
Wow,
1,000 wins.
Wow.
Jeez. Winterflame doing serious work there, but Huey correctly noticing that, you know, this is going to be the 5th land for KYT. And there's that stupid Scaldkin again.
Well, you don't know if it's the same one. It could be one of his, it could be his other Scaldkin.
Don't say that.
What? It's just.
You have his deck.
I have his. Yeah, he's got 2 Scaldkins.
Oh no. Not that the card's, you know, terrible, but you're not happy. Like, that's what happens.
It's just ordinary terrible.
It's just kind of bad, yeah. Like, I mean, to be fair, like, R&D doesn't give us truly garbage cards very often anymore. Like, they all do something. Wow, nice follow-up.
Some do things like Bear's Companion, though.
Bear's Companion. Some do really something, and this is definitely one.
I think I would look really good in that suit.
You would.
I mean,
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
We need to get Christine Sprankle to help you out. I'm cosplaying as Alpine Grizzly. All right, so here's Dig Through Time, but unfortunately, again, KYT just finds himself in these awkward spots where he's tapping a lot of mana, but not having a big punch on the board.
No, he's falling behind on the board.
Yeah, like very significantly too.
Wow, there are some stinkers in his deck.
Yeah.
I see a Seek the Horizons and a Venerable Lamassu.
Oh no!
I think he kept the Venerable Lamassu. Unless it's a different white card, but.
Oh no! You were right. But I mean, I guess that's what he wants here. Like, I've been saying that he needs to affect the board, and I guess he finally will next turn with the venerablest of Lamassus, the White Siege Dragon itself. So Huey doesn't know about either of those cards. He doesn't get to see them. So
I mean, but if you told him your opponent's going to dig through time and one of the cards he's going to keep is a Venerable Lamassu, you're pretty happy.
I mean, you would be, except for that he's going to play it next turn. And once it's on the battlefield, the card's good. The hard part is getting it there. With so many morphs in the format, you just don't need to play 7-drops that you can't cast on turn 3.
So now Huey's starting to think about end hostilities.
Interesting. You're right, especially after having dug.
Like he played his land. He's about to, maybe like put the, push the knife in all the way to the hilt.
I think you got to do it. I mean, Huey hasn't seen end hostilities.
Okay, there he's like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, end hostilities is something he should consider, but ultimately, like, you have to show it to me. That's a rare. Like, you don't just get those, right? Now, some interesting things that happen though is that when you draft at the same table, if you've passed a bomb of that caliber,
sure,
then you will be much more likely to play around it if you think that the opponent has a reasonable chance of being the one who got it. All right, he's just going to hard cast a Snowhorn Rider here instead of the Lammasu.
It's going to get set adrift, I believe.
Oh no. Yeah, Huey just taking advantage of the fact that KYT's mana use is so inefficient, and now he cracks for 10. And now, even the Lammasu can't save you, KYT. You're going to have to come up with something better than that. What a huge play right there. That set adrift was just nasty, and he has to extend the hand. That's a tough one for KYT, but it looked like he had to run quite a few bad cards in his deck.
How many matches in a row has Huey won at this point? Because didn't his second loss come pretty early?
No, I don't know, but it does feel like that. So Huey maybe explaining his thought process a little bit about some of his plays, but he does pick up the win, and if anybody could do it, Huey could do it. That deck looked perfectly fine to me. Solid deck.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't exciting. There wasn't anything exciting there, but it wasn't like Sagu Mahler into Surok or something, but some morphs, some combat tricks, some get your stuff out of the way, and he has a match win, and he's one match win away from getting in the top 8 here. Now, we'll get a look at the breakers. I don't know if 6-2-1 is going to make, or excuse me, X2-1 is going to be good enough to make it into the top 8 here. But let's jump back over to Neil Oliver. And it looks like they have started over again. And we're going to find out who won the first game for you guys once we know. Kind of a pedestrian draw here for for Oliver. He's got a banner, a Tuskguard captain, and a bunch of lands. I think he's going to play something here.
Yeah,
Neil won that game.
Wow. It was 20-1.
That's what we had it as.
Yeah.
And he had 2 Bitter Revelations in hand that he couldn't cast. Did we see what the morph was before it went?
It was Pine Walk.
It was Woolly Loxodon.
Woolly Loxodon, yeah, that was it.
In the meantime, the beatdowns. And Neil's going to be happy that the trade happened there. He's not happy to lose one of his better creatures, but that's the one where you kind of hold your breath that they don't tap their white mana and kind of get you. All right, not a bad turn 6 follow-up if you're in Neil Oliver's seat. It was just a 1/1 Ruthless Ripper. Good card, but now he's got 2 different 1/1s with air quotes Death Touch. And you've got to figure that Neil's going to be able to craft a game plan that can beat that. Neil's at 19?
Neil's playing 5 color.
Oh, he went deep. You don't play 2 banners lightly.
2 Sultai Soothsayers, a Snowhorn Rider, an Abomination, an Abzan Charm, an Armament Core. What's Robert Anderson playing?
Well, so he's got what looks to be a pretty straightforward Mardu list here. He does have 1 Sandstep Citadel. He could just be using it as a dual land. I'm not sure. That's his only green source, though. He's not playing any green cards at all. At least not pure green. No, he's just straight up Mardu.
Okay.
So he's a Mardu beatdown deck. But it looks like the beatdown has not commenced the way that he had hoped it would.
No.
Because right now, Neil Oliver is fully stabilized at 19 life, and he's got card draw ×2 in his hand. He's got a Bitter Revelation and an Abzan Charm. Probably just going to use the charm for removal, but he's got options.
And Neil Oliver, is heading from here to the World Championship to play in the World Magic Cup.
That's right.
Part of Team USA, so Owen Turnerwald's going to be feeling really good about how one of his wingmen is performing on the eve of the big tournament.
Wow, that was a nice bitter revelation. It's going to clear away 2 lands, or 4 lands total. He hit land, which would have been a pretty miserable sequence for Oliver at this stage of the game.
Nothing more you'd like to have his hand than land when you start activating your abomination.
Oh, thank God he found a Sidisi's pet. But really, that Abomination of Gadul doing serious work here because he's turning those extra lands into straight-up cards.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to see a big Villainous Wealth.
Oh, gosh, I hope so.
He says, come at me, bro. No problem.
Rip at me.
Now, that does enable Raid, though it doesn't matter because Murderous Cut's going to take down the Abomination. So he's good. It's good that he got the value out of that when he did. Now, Robert is going to try to rebuild here.
Oh, there's a Sultai Soothsayer.
He got a Soothsayer? Oh,
yeah.
Man. And yeah, Robert just doesn't have anything going on. He just needs some punch. He needs to draw the top end of his curve, and he can't. I mean, the Murderous Cut was nice.
Right. I mean, you can Soothsay here and play a Morph.
And he's got Pine Walker in hand.
Is he just going to play the Morph?
Plus Pet. Play both, right? You got a Soothsay. He's just going to go Morph. So this way he can leave up the Sidisi's Pet flip if he wants. I mean, he's really not in a hurry. The only really bad things that can happen to him are like getting his hand taken away from him, but even then it's not a huge deal. And he says, before damage, ape you. Zombie ape down, but he actually gains a life off the transaction, and that was clearly Neil's plan. Oh, dirty.
He worked so hard to kill it.
He did, so that was a good draw for Anderson. It's not great, like he's not in a great spot, but okay, he's got a respectable board. What was that, a Bitter Rev? No.
It looks like Despise.
It is a Despise, you're right. It's a little late here, but he might get something. I think he's got 1 card in hand. So Despise now, and it's a land, I'm sure. Or what was it, Trumpet Blast? I couldn't quite see it, it was off camera, but it wasn't a land, I don't think, and it certainly wasn't a creature of Planeswalker, so that didn't work.
I mean, is his mana not work to Soothsay?
Yeah, no, he played Abomination face up, so he can do that.
Is there a reason not to do it?
Well, he's got a Pine Walker that he can attack with and then flip up and block, so he might be able to get value out of it. But it looks like Robert is content to just block here, and yeah, sure, fine. Down they go, and now he's going to Soothsay. What's his other morph, BDM?
I don't know.
That one's been down forever,
it might be 1,000 Winds?
1,000 Winds? Holy
yeah, it is 1,000 Winds.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, 1, 2, 3, and that was Villainous Wealth, right? That last one?
Yeah, the last card is Villainous Wealth.
How do you turn down that kind of value? He only gets 1, though. He could also take Armament Core and just make a big, beefy team. Right now, he can Villainous Wealth for 5, I believe.
Yeah, he has to take...
Oh, that's the saddest day ever.
Sorry, Marshall.
Come on, he's only 1 mana away from Wealth for 6, which is the whole goal of the entire game of Magic.
Maybe he's looking at Robert Anderson's board and just figuring, I don't want any of these creatures.
Come on, I'll take any 3 of those, right? You got to take something. All right, and now here's a big attack here, and I think it might have been Trumpet Blast. I think he's going to try to make him use it here. Oh, looks like he's going to let that happen. Oh, he's got a Chief of the Scale over there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And the Timely Hordemate's a warrior, so it's a 3/3. All right, if that's 1,000 Winds, though, it will be flipped up. He's just got to take the advantage right now. It does get a little awkward, though, because the Timely Hordemate can get back that stupid Ruthless Ripper again if he can get raid triggered, but whatever.
And it's not clear that it is 1,000 Winds.
No, it's not clear at all. All right, here's Armament Core. He's just trying to get stabilized here. Double Mardu Hateblade now. It does look like he's stable, though. Now that he has 2 4/4s and a 2/5. He can cash in that banner next turn.
Right, so attack with everybody.
Squad is in. Yeah, so these Hateblades are going to be really annoying.
So you put the... Right, you put that in front of the Timely Hordemate, you put the Armament Core in front of the Chief.
Yep.
You know, you're going to take 6 here.
6?
From the Trumpet Blast.
Oh, it was Trumpet Blast. All right.
It's going to clear those, but you're going to clear those.
Yep. That seems fine if you're in Neil Oliver's seat, although he does need a little action here. Like, he's got a couple of lands in hand.
If that's 1,000 wins, he can buy himself a couple turns here.
Yeah, it's what, 7 mana to flip it up. Remember when we thought it was 6? Oh, that sucked.
That would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Yep, it is 1,000 wins.
And it's huge, too.
Pick up your little jerks.
It's a 7/9. Attack with it. And now all of a sudden, Neil Oliver is in commanding position here, as Robert Anderson has to have a removal spell for 1,000 wins very shortly. Those Mardu Hate Blades are not going to get it done anymore.
No, unless they're backed up by an active treason.
Yeah, there you go. There's a morph though, and no Hate Blades?
Is this going to be Ponyback Brigade?
Oh, because he's got 5 mana to flip it up.
Yep.
Yeah, you're totally right. All right, cash in that. Yeah, it's got to be BDM. That's a good read. It's another banner off the top.
Banner into banner.
How embarrassing.
I mean, the Ponyback Brigade doesn't kill him.
Well, I think that Robert's trying to go Ponyback plus, you know, Rush of Battle or something like that. But yeah, Neil just has to ship it in there.
He only has 2 cards in his hand.
Okay, so he needs to top deck one of those?
He needs the top deck. Yeah, I think he only has 2.
Yeah, he does get to hit for 5 though, so it does make life tough here for Neil. All right, so he's going to play the banner and just ship. He's going to crack it, but there's no point in cracking it now. Yeah, it had to be. That was a good read. So he's going to take 5 here and go down to 3.
Yeah, it looks like he's only got 2 cards in hand. Draws a 3rd card. Is it Trumpet Blast? Is it Rush of Battle?
Take it all. Go to 3. It could also be Arrow Storm.
Sure. It could be Arrow Storm. It could be Kill Shot for the 1,000 wins.
Leaping Master. Wow, what a draw. Leaping Master is a huge draw because it can chump block the the flyer, and Neil Oliver runs out of gas here, and he is not going to win this game. Wow, Robert Anderson peels Leaping Master, and it looks like it's going to get there. He needed a removal spell or a chump block or something.
Well, let's
go to game 3.
Wow.
Wow, that's brutal. Robert Anderson, he crafted that plan. He knew not to replay his 2 creatures because he could get 1 extra creature by flipping it up.
If you can find anything that flies, anything that removes 1,000 wins, just anything to gum it up, a burn spell, he can just get there over 2 turns with the Ponyback Brigade.
Yeah. Hey, Rashad. Got the backpack cam?
Yeah, we're doing a live look-in on the backpack of... So game 3 between these guys. This is a big match. This is this is staying alive for top 8. What's going on here? Is that match over?
Yeah.
Oh, that was over. Neil Oliver lost.
Correct.
Oh, we had
it as him being up a game.
No, it was game 3.
Okay. All right. So we didn't know that. I'm sorry. I apologize, listeners.
Okay.
That was game 3. So Robert Anderson took that.
Wow.
Wow. Took that. Wow. What a.
Wow. That was a huge one.